Greetings, greetings. We are live. I am Douglas Lattimore. It's been a while since I have been on a live broadcast. It's good to see everyone here. I wanted to come to you today. We're talking about on the last day of Black History Month. I wanted to honor a cousin of mine, Louis Latimer. Louis Latimer he's said to have helped invent the light bulb, to help invent the telephone. But there's one more thing that he has not been credited for inventing. And so this is a hypothetical, or not a hypothetical, this is a hypothesis that I have. What if Noble Drew Ali learned of Louis Latimer that he was the most famous Black American in the world? As a matter of fact, he was the most famous Black person in the world. Arguably the smartest person in the world. What if Noble Drew Ali actively sought out Louis Latimer and studied under him, learning about the Moors and learning about civic action? Noble Drew Ali moved 21 miles away from Louis Latimer. After Louis Latimer was well established in his residence, he was already famous and old and still active. A poet, spoke many languages, the Latin languages, Moorish Latin, and many Latin languages, and read poetry. He wrote poetry, read poetry, and would have more than likely have come across the Moors a long time ago. And thus, Noble Drew Ali, being new to the scene, would have come and looked for the smartest men in the world who understood about the Moors, understood the language, and was willing to teach. So this is a hypothesis that I have that is looking more and more like a theory. Now, Louis Latimer, he may be the father of the Moorish movement in the Americas. Louis Latimer may be the reason for the resurgence of Moorish and Moor identity in the Americas, which is very interesting. Noble Drew Ali would stay within 21 miles of Louis Latimer for the next 10 years as he developed his philosophy about the Moors, which is excellent. Now, Louis Latimer, being the developer of the light bulb, or one of the developers of the light bulb, it gives me the idea of that we have to go and shine our light to the world. We have to be the light unto the world. And that is why I'm running for mayor of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm running as a Black American man, as a Moor. And the 4 points that I'm running on is Black American male leadership, reparations in the form of cash payments to the people who are now being identified as foundational Black Americans, single-sex schooling, and rule of law. The last one, some people had asked me about what does rule of law means. It means that the laws that are on the books, we follow those laws because we are law-abiding people. And I am very excited. I am very excited to run for mayor and to eventually represent our group and the rest of Louisville. I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about Black History Month coming towards the end of at the end of Black History Month. I'm excited to learn more about my cousin, Louis Latimer. And I'm excited to learn some of the things that may not be in the history books, but there's evidence of. Well, that's all I wanted to share with you today. Nope, it's not all I wanted to share with you today. So one last thing. We have the American movement. The American movement The American movement is that the Black Americans are the Americans. We need no prefix in front of America, in front of American, as in we are the Americans. We don't need to call ourselves Black Americans or anything else prefixed in front of American, because we are what American is. And the last thing that I wanted to point out about my run is that I am going to work to get a anti-hate bill crime or anti-hate crime bill passed, so that you cannot commit crimes against Black Americans. We'll be a protected group, as we should be, the people who are called Black Americans. So this anti-hate bill will be for the people who are now being defined as foundational Black Americans, which is a catch-all phrase. I think it's actually a good job. The phrasing is very good as far as being a limiter. It's identifying a group of people, and it is excluding people who are not within that group, as in the Black Americans, the people who were called the Black Americans, and then things got confused because people came from other lands and then also called themselves Black Americans. They also called themselves African American, and then everybody calls themselves American. So it makes things very confusing. But the first definition of America was referring to the Black Americans. I wanted to show you the very last thing before we get off of this live, it's a short live. I wanted to show you just a few images of the Black Americans being the indigenous people of America. I'm going to go to my Facebook page, and it should be sharing now. If I'm correct, it should be sharing now. So I posted several of these. Actually, I posted every single image from this book. It's called the New and Unknown World, but it's in Dutch. I'll find the spelling, but real quick, I'm just going to scroll through some of the images so that you can see what the Black Americans, or what the Americans have always looked like, You just see a couple of images, and I'm going very fast, of what the Black Americans look like. And hopefully you're able to see this on your screen as I am. All of the Americas were brown men, Black men, people who we call Black men. And it's even in the mascots. You'll see the Black Hawk Indians, that it's obviously of what we would call a Black American. The Washington Redskins, their mascot was obviously a Black American. This is a Family Guy scene where let's see, one of the guys says "how" and another one says "hey hey hey" or something like that. Basically, the "hey hey hey" is supposed to be a Black American, mimicking Black Americans, and then the "how" is mimicking the indigenous Americans or the Americans. And then you see that they're all together. They're saying that Black Americans are the indigenous Americans, or in other words, the Black Americans are the Americans. Thus, the American movement. You see just a number of images of what the Black Americans have been depicted as. And then I have some written description that I'm not going to go over at the moment. But you'll see over here in 1912, how the images looks more like a Black American. And then in 1929, it also looks like a Black American. Look at this. 1956. You'll see there's a red man, and then you'll see the following 10 years later, it's a brown man. So whenever they called us red man, they were referring to the people who are copper colored. Move a little quicker through these images. And these are, this is an image of as you see Indian motorcycles. This is a current image, their current logo. I'm just going to move kind of fast. This is an old map that is in the book that I mentioned. And in a moment, I'll see the name of the book so I can tell it to you. This is a mural. As you can see the description on the right, you should be able to see the description on the right. A mural in Mexico of the indigenous people. This is a description of Philippa of Hainaut, which is a European queen, the queen who married Edward III. And she's being described as being blue-black and brown skin all over. But let me just go ahead. This is a image of Florida, the indigenous people of Florida. See that they're obviously Black Americans. Here's the name that I was mentioning. No, actually, this isn't the name. But this is let's see, what language is this? I think it's Dutch. Here's the name. Okay, the author is named Arnoldus Montanus, or Montanus, excuse me, Montanus, Arnoldus Montanus. All right, move a little quicker. Here's some more of the people of Florida, the indigenous people of Florida. This is telling us okay, that's the year of this particular engraving that I was looking at in the Library of Congress, but it's still within the book. Let's see. Okay, unbeknownst world, something of America. I have translated it before, but the unknown world. Unbekante. Here's some images of the Moors, or the indigenous so-called Indians, indigenous Moors, indigenous Indians of America, with their tobacco leaves. Again, it says the two Moors. Okay. I think that said the smoking Moor, or something like that. Okay. And I am going to speed up. Okay, this is an image of, what is this an image of? Okay, I don't have a description. I have a description. Oh, there it is. Millersburg area school district. Black Americans as depicted as the Indians. Oh yeah. This says Black American patriarchy is the only path to the end of European colonialism. Okay. Yes, so it is in Dutch. Okay. And we're almost done. This is the indigenous people of the land of Montezuma. Okay. This is an early flag of Suriname, which is in South America. Indian chiefs making a peace, or making a speech to King George the First. This is just something that I wrote that's true. More images from that same book that I mentioned. This is all the same book. There were over 100 images. This is from the Smithsonian magazine. It's not from the same book, but it's of an indigenous woman from Brazil. Okay. And I translated all the text. I put it in a translator, and I translated to see what they were talking about. It's giving a description of the everyday life of the indigenous people there, and then what happened when the Europeans came, and it also talked about the Moors. It's very interesting. There was a point where they called the indigenous people they called some of the indigenous people jet black, or just describe them as being jet black in some areas of the Americas. Okay. All these images. So it's not exactly hidden that the Americans are Black Americans, or that the Black Americans are actually American. But we don't get to see the images often. So the reason that I am running for politics is to be an illuminary to the world, to give light where there was darkness, to show the things that have been hidden to whatever degree they've been hidden, and also to make positive change. Okay, these are the people of Peru. So all the Americas were copper-colored people, but the people in North America are their own distinct group. We are our own distinct group. We are Black Americans. We are North Americans. We are Americans. And now we are being described as foundational Black Americans, which is a sufficient descriptive. Okay. More images of the maps. This is I can't think of where they are, and I don't have the description written. Okay, here it is. Okay, these are the people of South Mexico. All of the Americas. Okay, again, the people of South Mexico. Okay, this is an interesting image. Hopefully you're seeing all these images. And this is in Mexico also. See, some of the people have turbans. There were some images that were unfortunate. So this is an image of armed conflict between the indigenous people and the people we call white people, the Europeans that we call white people, who could also be defined as albinoid, but for our purposes, we'll call the people who are classified as white people. Let's see. There's also some images that you'll see later. Again, this is a map. The images that I may have in here of some other gruesome acts. Maps. Okay. See what that says. This is in Virginia, the people of Virginia. It's Black Americans. Hopefully, I'm not moving too fast, but I do want to move fast. These are the people of New York, New Jersey, Delaware, and Connecticut. The area was called New Netherland. Okay. This is, okay, these are the people of South America. People of Peru. I think he was an emperor. I think he was described as an emperor. Okay, here's another conflict between the indigenous people of Peru and the Europeans that we call white people. Here's an image of a Black American woman. This is an image of the seal of Florida. And the image that I told you that might be a little disturbing, not really that disturbing, but a little gruesome, I don't have up. But that's what I wanted to share with you today. Again, I am Douglas Lattimore. I'm running for mayor of West Louisville. I want to, again, give honor to my my cousin who did a great job as an inventor, as a scientist, as a poet, as a musician, and as a civic leader and freedom fighter. And with that, I will bid everyone a good evening, and I hope to see you all soon. Peace.